Hello. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's section of reads. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. That being said, for the tarot version, I'm using the Ghost Tarot by, I always mess up his name, Davide, David Cossey? You can see the spelling. That way if you want to find this deck. There's also the website here on the back, which this camera is giving the clear version of that. For the Oracle cards, Magical Spell cards, I love this deck, by Lucy Cavendish, illustrated by Jesse Reish, and down there at the bottom is hayhouse.com if you're interested to check all that out. And last but not least, I use dice too. I use a 22-sided dice, substituting 22 for 0 for the Fool, 14-sided dice for the Minor Arcana, and a 4-sided dice to choose the element that's matching up with the Minor Arcana. It's from the dice. They're from the Dice Shop. The website is mathartfun.com. Feel free to check those out if you're interested. That being said, of course, if you'd like a reading from me, shoot me an email, james4astral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below. Same email. So let's go ahead and get into your reading. Hello, Taurus. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. These readings are valid for whenever you come to them. That being said, what do we have for Taurus? The Hierophant. First card. That's the Taurus card. Okay. So, and the King of Pentacles coming forward next. Okay. This is gonna be this. It feels good for the most part, but there's definitely conflict and some sorrow going on here. Whatever the situation is, I feel like that's already there. Judgment has already been passed on this situation. It's like, it's kind of like the house has already been sold, if you will. Already done. Like it's a done deal. Whatever this is, that's what this is based on. So, Knight of Pentacles reversed, and then the Lover's card is in question on the dice, which means it's like this. Is it going to be good? Is it not good? I feel like I'm looking back and kind of like, whatever judgment was, for example, say I had to move out of my house, just for argument's sake, and I had to move into an apartment. Okay, I'm here. I don't really feel like this is my end game. This isn't where I'm going to stay permanently, but it's not moving forward is what I'm getting. Judgment's already been passed. I'm already in the situation I'm in. I don't feel like it's my final destination, but I don't really know where I'm going to move yet. I don't know where I'm going to finish off at the moment. And there's some sadness with this. I'm going to do the dice again. Yeah, because nothing is moving. And things feel like wherever I am currently at, there's things happening, but it's not building to something. And I think that's, for Taurus, that's the problem. Taurus doesn't like putting their energy into things that aren't building towards something. At the very least, it could be like maybe you're putting in some time at a job or extra time, and you're saving money, for example. But you don't know how much you need to save, and you don't know where you're going to apply it. And like, for example, maybe you're like, well, maybe I have a 5-year plan to get the type of house I actually want. Okay, I should find things to invest what I have for 5 years, and that way when it comes out, I've gained some income with that, and I can apply it when necessary. I'm not going to do it till then, so I can do that. But it's like I don't have that plan yet. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do. Is this a soon thing, a not so soon thing? I don't know. But I'm getting like, to get this dislodged, because it's kind of stuck. I have to go down the lane. I have to go down the lane of conflict. The lane of conflict. Okay. This is not okay. So this is about how do we dislodge the block, because it kind of feels like it's blocked to me. But it might be something where you're standing in your own way. Like, I feel like I'm starting to feel this heavy energy, and I'm just like, it's bothering me. It's like it's almost like I feel like everything is a mountain when it comes to this subject. It's all a mountain. It's this giant mountain, and I don't even have the right shoes to start. The little in the backpack, the supplies, the plan, the map, who's going to go with me, what am I going to eat? I don't have any of that. I don't even know where to start, really. And that's why this feels like a mountain. So, to get this dislodged, start entertaining possibilities. So, like, I remember I did this with when I redid the plumbing in my bathroom. I had to I had to look at it, and I'd be like, I had to literally go to it, and I had to how do you take, what is the problem? Like, what's not happening? So the water wasn't working right. So then I went to the next step. I asked somebody else what they would do, and then they clicked off. It didn't click in my brain, and it almost aggravates me when I look back. I was so overwhelmed with the situation that something obvious was going right over my head. I didn't know how to take the faucet off because I couldn't figure out how to do it. And then somebody else showed up and said, "You just pull." Just, oh my God, it drove me nuts. Later, I thought to myself, how did I not see that? How did I not know that? You just kind of it was stuck. I mean, it was stuck on there a certain way, but you just got to kind of pull it off. Once I got off that certain thing, and you might need somebody's help to get you, just ask somebody what they would do. That might literally, break the seal enough. Sure, it's going to take a lot to get it off still, but it might break the seal. Just ask somebody else. Ask somebody else what would they do. Somebody that you actually like, obviously. And I get that might dislodge it just enough so you're like, oh, okay. And then, for me, this took me a good two weeks to get this done, because that's where I started, and I had to look at it. What can I take apart? What can I not? How do I turn off the water first? I know that. How do you turn off the water before you start messing with stuff? So I turned off the water, started looking how much of this can I take apart without too much trauma. Then I started watching videos. How did other people do this? What is this? How does that work? Is this something I can feasibly do? How have other people done that? University of YouTube, some people call it, which that's what I used. And then I had to get some other people's help, which I found the right people. I went to the store and asked people what they thought, and the people who worked at the store, and what do they use, and how do they do this. That one piece of just asking somebody what would they do doesn't mean you're going to take their advice, because all I needed was to realize you can take that faucet off. The person I was talking to told me other things, which I don't think I wasn't going that direction. That wasn't the point. The point was I just needed that one piece to know how to get that one piece off that dislodged it, that got it unstuck, so I could start working with it. That it may be literally that simple, and it may be why you're seeing the conflict card, oh, I don't want to ask so and so, or I don't want to ask this one. In today's day and age, you can go online and probably find a forum where you can ask your question, if you have one, or if you're I'm stuck here, I don't know what to do, whatever, I'm trying to figure out what other people do. You can find a way just to start, oh, that's what they did. And when you're watching what they did, you might immediately go, well, I would have done it this way. And then you could start the process moving forward. It's a slow start, but it's a dependable start. Because I feel like this is what needs to happen. This random moment is all it needs to happen. It's not over-investing in anything. It's just getting that first piece just snapped out of place so you can just get it unstuck so you can start working with it. It's a slow start. It's a slow start. It's got the Page of Swords here. But it comes in with victory. That slow start will start moving this weather away. It will move this weather on. It will kind of get this sadness away from you. The more you start to see ways that you're okay, well, that's a possibility. Well, that may take some time, but I can do that over time. Taurus is a builder. You take your time. You go through things. It takes some time to build it to where you want it to be. It's going to be a lengthy process. I don't feel like that's a bad thing. Other people may find this too stressful. Did I say that right? Other people may not, other people may have a hard time with this. You can move forward without their approval. I don't think that's going to be a problem. But like, let them do what they have to do. Give them a chance to add in later. It may take them some time. If there's other people involved in this situation, you moving forward slowly may have to be more of a private venture. You may have to keep it more to yourself until you have something of substance to be like, I've gone this far. It's taken me 4 months to get this far, but I wouldn't be anywhere if I didn't start. It's kind of like, or like me with the plumbing. Took me 2 weeks, but like, hey, it took me 2 weeks, but I got this far. But it's starting that first step. Other people might have to add in later. Be aware of that, because I'm getting they might be just struggling with the whole situation. It may be a mountain to you. To them, it might be like going to the moon. To you, it's a mountain. To them, it might be like going to the moon. And they're like, I have no idea how I could never get there even if I tried. I could never get there even if I tried. It might be how they feel about it. You know what I mean? Just be aware of it. They might add in later. You might have to do a lot of the work at the beginning to actually prove that it can be done before they actually can like put their feet on the ground and go, oh, well, it's a lot. You know, they might struggle with it still, but once you move forward, you'll have the strength to like, that's kind of how Taurus rolls. I feel like this is nothing new. You show how it, like you show your results and you're like, well, I started it with one foot in front of the other. One small step is all I took. And I just did one small step and one small step and one small step. Maybe it took a while, but I didn't have anything before. And now I got a lot because I took that first step and I followed it with another small step. And I followed it with another small step. Don't get invested in other people's sadness. Be careful of that. Take that with a grain of salt, obviously. But because the Ten of Swords shows up with passion, and I was like, oh, that doesn't seem so good. Other people may feel like, oh, well, you did that, but I can't do this. There might be a very heavy energy that comes in. There's a heavy sadness that comes in with this. Try not to invest in that if you can help it. Like, there's a heavy sadness that comes in because you're succeeding. There's this weird, I don't know what to say with that. People, they may look at this and they don't understand. Either they don't understand or they don't want to put in the effort. Okay, let's let that be their problem, if we can. Because I feel like one small step, it's like, it's either they don't understand or they don't want to put in the effort. And if that's the case, then that's got to be their problem. If they give it a chance and they just tell them, all right, like, I understand you don't get it right now. This is how I started. Just go do this first step and then come back to me after you've done that first step. And I'll tell you what I did after that. And I'll tell you how to do the next step. If they're not even willing to put in that much effort, let it be their problem. Just let it be their problem. And I'm getting moved forward without them. Because what's probably going to happen, this is a general read, to take it with a grain of salt, is that they're not going to want to be left behind. They want to stop you from progressing. And it may not be because they're negative. It may just be because they're afraid you're going to leave them behind. So it may be out of fear that they're kind of trying to get you to stop. It may be flat out of fear. Some people, they're just who they are. But other people may be out of fear. Don't let them hinder you. Okay, you can't. All right, I have to go. And just keep moving. They won't want to go. They won't want you to leave them. So they're gonna catch up. They'll come around. If they don't come around, maybe they shouldn't. Just take it with a grain of salt, of course. Because by you continuing on and doing your one foot in front of the other thing, you'll get a lot of healing. You'll get a lot more will come for you. I get that there definitely will be resistance here. You got to be careful with that. Some people make things sound like, some people some people talk a good game. And when I say good, that's subjective. Some people know how to say what they need to say to get what they want. And they may convince you or try to convince you that what you're doing is flat out wrong or irresponsible or something. Because I feel like whoever this is, if this is triggering, if this actually happens, they know what actually triggers you. That was a perfect word for that. They'll know what actually gets you. Like, Taurus, you can't do that. That's irresponsible. Something like that. They'll, this is why it's irresponsible. And look what you've done. Because they don't want to be left behind, or they don't want you to have that much power. Could be, but it's out of fear. I keep getting for most of them, it's out of fear, which means it's healable. Just don't play into it. Step away from it. Keep going. Don't let it hinder you, because it feels like it's heavy. When I feel it, it feels like it could have quite the impact. You know what I mean? Otherwise, I don't think we mention it. As long as you keep going, one step in front of the other, small step, small step, small step. I mean, even a baby, like, not for nothing, they take small steps, obviously, right? But if you take your eye off them for 2 seconds, and they're halfway down the street, you know what I mean? you know what I mean? You leave the front door open, those little steps will get them right out the door and down the street if you're not careful, before you know it. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, the baby steps are effective. They are effective. And you'll have this King of Cups energy here. You'll love the outcome you're getting. Now, other people, there will be some people, I don't know if it's just for some of you, or there'll be some people, if this is an allergic situation, that they are going to constantly try to get in your way. I think they're saying, just please identify them for who they are, and don't let them be in your way. Even if they don't like it, yeah, overcome this. Certain people, they just want to block things. They just want to be a problem. They want to believe that they're stuck, and if they're stuck, they don't want you to be unstuck. This is that old energy. I hate this energy. I think it's a really negative energy. It says a lot about a person who has this attitude. If I'm not happy, nobody should be happy. People who have that attitude, that's a football field size red flag. I'm just telling you. Some people are like that. If I can't have it, then you shouldn't have it either. If I can't do it, then you can't do it. If I don't want it, then you shouldn't want it. Like, see them for who they are and react appropriately however you find appropriate, because that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing. When you realize it's just because if they're not happy, they don't want you to be happy. Be careful how much you value their opinion. Be careful how much you allow them in your life where you have the ability to stop. Like if it's a business situation and you're like, well, they're there. But try not to let that influence you more than it has to, and see it for what it is. Be aware of it, because you can be really happy in this situation. This situation can turn around for you. And it's also like, I keep getting like this money energy too, which is interesting. Taurus does enjoy things. Taurus likes to enjoy things typically. You like to enjoy the finer things. But in my opinion, what you enjoy and what you decide is the finer things is up to you. And some people might look at you and kind of be like, oh, you're too much. Or maybe they're going to be like, oh, that's not good enough. Be careful of them. Just be careful of them. See them for who they are. Don't let them bring you down. Because, you know what? If you feel like you're living like a millionaire and you have a nice little house and everything's paid off, and you know you have the basics that you want, but you feel like you're living like a millionaire, then that's what you should have, and that's great. Don't let somebody else mess with you on that. You know what I mean? I've seen people like that they're very happy and they have a few things that are very nice. Like this one person I knew, I don't know if they were a Taurus, but they liked gourmet food and gourmet coffee and stuff like that. Their dwelling was nice. It was clean, but it was modest. But there was certain things they really enjoyed, and that was like food and stuff like that, and that's what they put their energy in. Other people tried to say, tried to poo-poo this and that, but it was their business. That's what they wanted. That's what they wanted to enjoy. That was their business. Don't let somebody else try to give you like, well, this is what you're doing, but this is what you should be doing, because I get that manipulation is going to come at you. Just be aware of it. All right. I'm going to shut this down here. Hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thanks again for watching. Have a great day.